Yo, what's going on, everybody? Welcome to another Terp Talk Tuesday with my Cannabis. I'm Canada Dave.
And I'm Groovy.
Today's Terp Talk, we're going to be talking about Michigan Cannabis and the harvest rally that Groovy was able to attend later this afternoon. It was going down at the Capitol.
Yes, sir.
Between noon and 5 o'clock today.
Yep.
And it was, I believe it was Michigan Weedsters that was helped put on the rally. You had many people from caregivers, medical patients, I'm assuming, right, Groovy?
Yeah.
A lot of people in the community were there. I was unfortunately unable to make it, and so we're going to talk about that. And then we want to talk about, like, where do we see Michigan cannabis? Where do we see it going? Where do we see the industry going? And discuss those topics. So, and before we get going, always let us know how you're consuming cannabis. How are you dabbing? How are you smoking? How are you eating?
Yeah,
And
let us know
by
how
eating,
we
I
look
mean
on the
edibles.
cameras, too. We got some new cameras, so I'm very curious to see what y'all think.
Yes. Yeah, we got a new setup going on right now, so I'm about to roll up. I was rolling up, I think it was pressure, actually.
Oh, hell yeah, Drew. What's going on, fam? Oh, I didn't get any of the comments set up. I knew I forgot to do something.
Nice. But yeah, we got the new little setup over here we've been putting on over here in the studio.
Yeah, trying some new things. We still got the same virtual look because we've been busy as shit, but we're revamping some stuff and we upgrade it, so hope y'all dig it. Hope we look even uglier.
I mean,
I don't know. What am I supposed to say?
hopefully not, but yeah, probably.
What's up, John? What's going on, fam?
But probably definitely do look uglier. Thanks, man. I appreciate it, especially if we get lenses that zoom in more. I feel like you'll see every blemish on my face.
Oh, he says the new setup looks killer, Andy. Hey, thanks, man. I'm very curious what it looks like on someone's end who isn't me. Because, like, you know, I'm a little crucial. Video quality is on point. My dog.
Nice.
What's up?
Nice.
Actually, T-Dub, it's about that time. It's dab time. Whenever you get here, it's dab time. Shout out to Uplifting. Actually, that's why we were in the UP this week. We checked out Uplifting's girl. Excuse me, I'm used to saying girl. Processing lab. It was the lab. So we got some Uplifting diamonds. Oh, I'm used to showing this to the camera. The camera's over here now. I guess I could just cut off Dave's face for a second. Hey. Uplifting. Let's see, will it autofocus on Dave? Oh, it does. There we go. Good, because I didn't know what was going to happen there. Yeah, and you can see my shirt. I was able to make a little bit of that caregiver rally. Rally in general. It was definitely more towards the caregivers' rights. And a big thing they talk about is what everyone needs to talk about is that there's some things like RSO that simply you cannot afford and they don't use market that caregivers can just simply supply and they can do stuff, you know, and it's just possible. It makes it more, it makes it affordable. Like you cannot afford to buy RSO. I mean, granted, now that the prices have dropped maybe a little bit, you know what I mean? Mm-hmm. But it's still not the same through. Oh, Drew, come through crisp. All right. Well, good. I'm happy. It's coming through cool because I don't know what I'm doing with cameras. I'm learning.
Yeah, we're learning on the fly right now, guys. We're learning. I'm learning
taking rocks out of. Oh God, that's not my camera. Over here. Hey. Sorry, I'm not used to all this yet. Can't really see it as closely. I can just flip. keep cutting off Dave's face, but I'm just doing a whole ass
Damn.
diamond.
Well,
They're full spectrum
We will
diamonds,
be having
though.
a product camp that we will be having hooked up.
Yeah. I just didn't set it up today.
So.
We've been going through which camera that we're gonna use for it. That's gonna be the final camera, and the last
We've had a
two
couple.
have sucked.
Yeah, they've been pretty rough. Like if we moved the product, it would like freeze for like 5 seconds. It was just horrible. It's supposed to be really good, but it really wasn't.
And always let us know what you're dabbing on, what you're smoking on. Always hit the comments with that. But yeah, like Canada Dave said, we're gonna be talking a bit about Michigan cannabis, kind of about it, where it came from, kind of just like if you're not really too familiar, then this is the episode to just kind of like listen in and definitely, ask questions and stuff as we go along the way. There's a couple like little details I'm sure I won't get perfect, but there's definitely a lot to it, and that's what I was trying to say essentially. But there's a lot to this, and then like
what
I
up,
said,
John?
The rally was super cool. I unfortunately only caught the ending because of just schedule. I couldn't get there till later, but I was able to make it, so I was happy. Be there for an hour or so and show my support, since it's there.
I'm just glad you were able to make it. I even posted in our story today. I shared a post. I believe it was from Sapo.
Nice.
And said we weren't even be able to make it, and unfortunately,
I actually think I sat in front of Sapo, but I don't know him like on a first name basis. I was like, "Hey man, excuse me."
I don't either. I just as his handle, so
I just know who he is. Yeah,
right.
Killing it.
But I'm glad you're able to go. It's pretty big. I mean, because you got to think where we started without the medical program, without everything that was built, we wouldn't even have the adult use market or the adult use program that we have currently running.
Facts.
And if you have your medical card, I hope you actually go and renew it. While we're talking about it, I mean, because it helps support the market. I mean, it is medicinal. We should be able to have it. I mean, there are sometimes benefits of it. Sometimes you save tax. Money. It used to be the 200 milligram edibles, not as much now with that, but
so that kind of leads me to the rally. Now I don't know, it was just at the Capitol building. It feels very similar to yours.
What's up, Dave? Cold freeze rain tonight? No shit, because like if anyone's still got their plants, I would be getting those down. I mean, today was like a nice blemish. I mean, it was 65 and like sunny. Tomorrow's supposed to be like 70, right? I think, and then it like just drops off. So those plants, I mean, yeah, I'm assuming everyone's chopping them down in the next couple of days. I mean, because if you're going a couple more weeks, I'd be nervous because you could hurt the plants going longer. Especially with the cold weather.
No, it's true.
It's true. Especially harming the plant or any damage to the buds, rot or anything. I mean, there goes your whole crop the whole summer, Yeah. So I'd rather pull a little early and be a little safer than ruin it all,
That makes sense. But sorry, you got out on the growing. I just really wanted to the rally, just so everyone knows, anytime you can show your support towards caregivers, please do, because it's a huge thing. It felt good to just be out there and see like-minded individuals. Like I said, I was only there for an hour. I don't know how the rally was for you. It was just some random booths kind of set up. People just kind of smoking, chatting, shooting the shit, and doing some speeches. It was really cool, though. I really, like I said, if anything you can show up, if it's calling your local politicians or if it's showing up to rallies, anything matters. Getting the card, whatever you can do. I was just curious if anyone else made it and curious what their thoughts were on it. Is that similar to kind of how that rally was when you went the first time, the other caregivers rally?
Back in last September, I would assume so. Yeah, you had your speakers, you had people talking on the Capitol Hill.
Yeah, a couple musicians at the end.
I think I left before the ending because I got there at last time I got there was more at the beginning and then had to leave.
Oh, okay. So you did the opposite.
Yeah, I did the opposite. But they had the speakers in.
What I should have done.
Hey man, you're still able to make it out there. You can't schedule. Sometimes they're tough to. When you're working the day job, sometimes it's tough. So.
Yeah. No, 100%.
But it seemed like it'd be a little similar, and I'm glad that they put it on, and shout out to everyone that put it on, and that was discussing it all over social media and getting everyone there. I mean, you had a beautiful day for it, so you couldn't ask for much better weather in October.
No, I mean, it really was beautiful. I was out there. It was really nice, actually. It was refreshing, you know what I mean, rather than like a stressful time. But it was well worth it, and yeah, shout out to everyone who put it on because it just feels good around that type of energy. Because just being like, just at the last speech that I caught, it brings up the fact about RSO, and that's why I want to highlight it because there are certain things where I could understand like medical dispos, not being necessarily needed. You know, if they gave medical percentage discounts, then you just need adult use dispos. But you can't get rid of that. You can't get rid of that program. You know what I mean? There's people who really need that card. You know what I mean?
100%. No, man. I mean, like I always go back. Sometimes you need a specific strain. There's specific strains that help you out. And, you know, growing your own or having a caregiver that can grow your own is always coming in the clutch. I mean, what if you had a migraine yesterday? How horrible. What if you had a specific strain that got rid of migraines for you, like anytime? Like you just smoked a bowl and like you were good. Like you would want that strain around. So like I always think specific strains, RSO, heavier doses, like because you might need to consume more because a smaller dose of cannabis or edibles won't be able to affect you.
Yeah.
What's
so
up?
That's the big thing. I'm just trying out the new cameras and new looks and stuff. Sorry about that distraction.
I actually like that angle.
Yeah,
I like that.
It's cool. It was just us kind of talking.
I don't see what's funny now though. Is like on my side, behind the scenes, I used to have a screen where I would see everything which was happening. Now I don't see that.
That's true.
I was
That's true.
I'm like filming it out like everyone sees it. But
yeah. But yeah, no, it was cool. It was really cool. It was well worth the time. So but yeah, no, I mean today, Michigan, do you want to just talk about today's episode? What we're talking about?
Yeah, so we're just talking about like Michigan cannabis and some of the rules, regulations, what companies has everyone been into recently, which ones you're not fond of.
I mean, where it came from.
That goes with like the rally caregivers back in the medical days. But like I just think with Michigan being legal, you know, like everyone's allowed to grow their 12 plants. You're allowed to have 2.5 ounces on you.
Yeah.
You're allowed to have 10 ounces on it at your house. This is not even
I'm reading,
medical.
This is just like going on a little brief history, brief background, kind of like what our Michigan laws are.
And all this got enacted in 2018 when we passed legalization. And it's funny because like when you're looking at some of these laws now, like, okay, distribution of less than 2.5 ounces without I can't pronounce that word. That's funny because I know that.
Remediation?
No, that's not remediation. Remuneration. It's doing a sale without getting money back. Doing money. Yeah. I remember it from the court days.
Oh, interesting.
Yeah.
That's interesting.
And if you sell it for if you sell 2.5 ounces, it's still a $0 fine, no penalty. Even up to 5 ounces is still a civil infraction.
Yeah, I mean, we got pretty good laws here in Michigan. And you're right, 2018 is when that was enacted, and it will go back a little bit farther. I'm actually kind of working our way backwards. In 2008 is when the medical program came here in Michigan, is when we were allowed to start getting cards. About 10 years after California, give or take. I think it was 96. But to go back a little bit farther, just to talk about Hash Bash, just to pay some tribute, because it very was important. Because the Hash Bash was held in 1972, April 1st, in response to a decision on March 9th, 1972, by Michigan Supreme Court declaring unconstitutional the law used to convict cultural activist John Sinclair for possession of 2 marijuana joints. This action left the state of Michigan without any laws for the use of marijuana until after the weekend of April 1st, 1972. So it was kind of like the last weekend of being like, you know, rally. And there was no laws. I think Mr. Hashbash had 10 or 11 days or something of no laws like that. And then it's just kind of gone forward from there, you know. And it's crazy to think that it's taken from 1972 to say that, hey, our laws in this state are messed up to 2008 for anything to really happen. You know what I mean?
Yeah, but I mean, it's just look at how slow cannabis is moving right now as is.
Yeah, it's true. It always moves like molasses, you know?
But then we went from 2008 to 2018 where we had legal, right? So, I mean, within 10 years, you went from the medical program where it was the wild, wild west compared to now where it's like seed to sale.
Well, yeah, licenses. Right. I mean, remember the dispos were still shady in 2008, 9, 10,
Very
11,
shady.
12, 13. You know what I mean?
15.
Like, I guess I didn't go to 2010, really. 2009 and 2009, 2010. But it was like you were scared to be in them because you kept hearing about dispos getting raided, and old ladies being thrown on the ground by the DEA and shit. And you were like, geez, let me get in, get out. You know what I mean? Like,
or there
was no weed maps. There was like, hey, hopefully you can hear about it and find one, you know, because the ones in Waterford were hidden.
Weed map. When did
anyone else go to the dispos back in the day?
12? Weed maps had to be like 2011, 2012. Because Cali was legal for a while, or medical for a while, because we didn't have, no state went legal until Colorado did.
Yeah.
And
You
then
said it didn't go into.
Colorado's the first state to go adult use.
Oh, right.
Once Colorado did, I feel like everyone started looking and then started slowly going that way, especially the states that were already medicinal, you know? Like you're like, look at Colorado over here. I mean, Michigan's got some pretty good stuff. I wish we were able to not have, like, smells probable cause, and you could be able to smoke out in public, right? Those are a couple things that do need to change, in my opinion.
No, I hear you. I mean, but, like, we have it. I mean, you're definitely right. Smell being probable cause is kind of down a road that is a tricky law, because, like, I understand that people in the idea, like, when they wrote it, was like, oh, if it smells like weed, they must be high, which, again, before it was legal, okay, sure, you know, okay, you can maybe make that argument, because if it smells like weed, then they weren't supposed to have it anyways. But now that it went legal and medical, it's kind of like become to this point now where how do they convict you on smell if it's legal? Like, I can have it at home, you know. And if they don't have a roadside test like they do alcohol, there's no way to test it. So right now we're kind of in that gray area, you know what I mean? Which, thank you to Jamie Lowell for coming on. Was it 2-3 weeks ago now?
Probably
Bringing up that topic, you know. So it's a very good point.
Definitely, man. I mean, it's gonna be interesting where the program continues to go. Especially, is medical going to stay around? Andy brought up a valid point. The government also looks at the viability of the program based on how many people renew. I mean, if people aren't renewing because there's no, some of them are like, I just go to the store now and get it. Is that going to keep the program in place? You know,
It's hard to tell.
And that's why it's good you had the rally going on, because there's still tons of people that you should be able to use it. You should just be able to keep the program in place. But then you have to go to growing standards and processing standards, because edible or medical has much more stringent testing than does the adult use program, right?
Yeah.
So with that, I mean, you can have a lot more, what is it? Was it microbials, ppm or something in adult use?
Adult use, yeah.
Compared to kind of medicinal.
Oh, yeah. Well, I mean, that makes sense, though. You should. And that's why medical market product can go on the adult use, but adult use can't go backwards.
Correct. Exactly.
Yep.
Because it's clean. It's legit clean medicine.
Yep.
Like, and we've had a couple companies come on that have even stated that their product tests as clean as it would in the medical market, you know? So, like, that's big. That's big in my opinion.
No, for sure. 100%. 100%.
So,
yeah.
did you ever take your diamond dab?
No, I was on that. A lot going on. So I'm just trying to keep up.
Was everyone else dabbing and smoking out there? I didn't see what everyone else was smoking out there today. Dang, Dave still got 9 up. When you taking them down? If you're still with us, Dave.
Yeah.
Dude, I mean, when we were up at the in the UP, man, it was getting pretty chilly up there already.
Oh, yeah. No, it was like when we were seeing Sublime with Rome, it was really cold.
Yeah, it was very, very cold up there. It was a fun time. It was a good time up there, though.
Yeah. What did you want to talk about next with the Michigan cannabis market?
What were the couple of questions we had? The lower thirds up there. I was going into like what you can and cannot do, pretty much for like the law, and then as I say, we could talk about some
maybe
of
laws you do and don't like.
Yeah, I can.
So what is it? Which ones you don't like? Because you just talked about the smell being probable cause.
Yeah, I think realistically, I mean, I was looking at this cultivation, so like you can grow 12 plants. Obviously, there's no penalty, but they hit you at 12 to 24 is a $500 fine, civil infraction. I feel like you should be able to grow 24 plants. Like you should be able to have many, or maybe I forgot, because like I don't know if it's in law, but does like 8 inches of a clone count as a plant? Because like you should be able to have.
I thought this is where I get confused, man. So I thought that to be a marijuana plant versus a cannabis like hemp plant, I thought it needed to be budding. So technically, until it's flowering, aren't no plants technically?
Technically, you're correct. Yes.
Okay.
So like you could, but they would have to flower the plant. But once it produced bud and they tested it, it had THC. Yeah. But they would go through that whole process.
Right. I don't know. That's what I'm asking you. If there's no budding, like, technically if they like pulled the plant down, I mean, I guess that you'd have to be very careful with that. I mean, don't take that to the bank, but I'm just saying technically.
Well, I mean, because that goes with when they
Choco Kush flower, nice, Jimmy.
Oh, that sounds pretty good. Who's that by? Where's the breeder on that? Cocoa Kush flower, is that what you said? Cocoa Kush. It's got like a chocolatey taste.
Interesting. I want to talk about this. Andy actually has an interesting point. I didn't think about this. At 200 milligrams is the death of the medical side. Why is that? Why do you think that?
Well, because that was the one thing that medical had over adult use.
Now there's no difference in products. Dispos won't pay license fee for med when rec med sales are 7-1 at least. But see, what we learned recently is that medical products can get theirs on the market though.
Well, yeah, they've been able to. Yeah, you just gotta. It's gotta be a couple weeks and then it goes on, or someone buys it and packages it and puts it on. But I mean, you're not gonna not put that product on the market when it's passing medical testing, right? When it's better, when medical testing's harder than adult.
But I mean,
use
does
testing.
adult use? Do anyone adult use ever ask that? Like no one asked that.
No, did you actually hear that there was a dispo that just got what was it, $75,000 fine for having unlicensed bags of cannabis?
Really?
Yeah. I was gonna save the article for. We'll save the article for when we go on our episode when we record it. But yeah, that just actually came out the news the other day.
Yeah, that's crazy. Yeah, I don't know. Sometimes when I think about the laws here in Michigan, they're very, very good compared to some other places.
I mean, we're blessed we're able to home grow, right?
Yeah, I guess.
I don't think legislation though. I don't think the people would have voted if you couldn't do a home grow though, right? Because you were able to already grow medicinally so many plants. Like when the medical law came intact, dude, think about this. It came out really good.
Right.
Like you're able to grow your 12. Like some medical states don't even have that. So like, I don't know. Like if you can't grow, to me, you're not freeing the plant. It's not
right.
freeing the plant.
And that's kind of what I was going to say.
If you're having restrictions on it, and I always go to Jersey, or what is it, Illinois? So you're allowed to have like 4 plants. I mean, at least it's something. But I mean, come on, like 4 plants, like what?
No, I mean,
0
I
plants?
hear what you're saying. I mean, I think there's the big thing in Michigan is a lot of these like licenses and things have kind of gone crazy. You know what I mean? Like they don't. There's so many different ones and so many different regulations, and now like everyone's the CRA. There are people trying to get them to go after caregivers, which has nothing to do with them. There's all these like, I don't know. It's become a little bit people segregated a bit within the cannabis industry. Some people just smoke their homegrown. Some people don't go to the dispos. Some people, and at the end of the day, like it's all the cannabis market, right? Like, you know what I'm saying?
I mean, no matter what, people are going to go to the retail shop. It's ease and convenience. When you have the retail shop,
yeah, but no matter what, people are going to grow weed too.
Oh, of course, because I mean, people have been growing weed illegally for years.
They still are.
I mean, people, it's been going on. Like,
yeah.
That's not going to stop. I mean, but you see how much money it still brings in though to the state.
Yeah.
How much tax revenue is still coming into the state, and with all that, you don't have to. And you still have so many cities that aren't even fully opened yet too, and I think that's what's hurting too.
Well, yeah, 100%. Well, that's the thing. Like I say it all the time. You think these people would be going after caregivers or going after other people if like everywhere was legal for cannabis? If you could just have dispos everywhere, you know what I mean?
Mm-hmm.
Like, I guarantee. Like, look it up. Look in the UP, man. There was like how many dispos?
So many.
Like so many compared to the last time I was there. Like so many.
Mm-hmm.
And you think any of them are really that concerned with home grows? There's a ton of growing out there. Look how much land there is. No, but they're still opening up dispos. Like, I don't know. 2 different markets, 2 different people.
Because people like to buy the cannabis. It's not always the easiest to grow good quality bud.
Right.
It's not always. Someone doesn't have the time, Some don't have the time to make their edibles. But many like to do it, and they should have the opportunity to be able to do it. And that's where they need to not put a hold on it. Like you should be able to, like all these states that are going legal, not even just obviously Michigan's already legal, but all the other states, you need to be allowed the grow to happen. Cultivation, home grow cultivation needs to be able to happen.
Right. Andy has a point. He says these chads and government growing don't. The government doesn't get their cut essentially. What are your thoughts on that, man? Chads growing booth and the government don't get their cut from caregiver to patient transactions, though. And that's the big thing. I get that, like, big money is always going to, like, they can always blame that the medical, that this fragment of people. Yeah. But, like, I just can't believe it. Because if they really looked at the numbers on how many people are using cannabis, holistic lifestyle stuff versus those who are, going to, hospitals, like, the numbers are still outrageous.
Even if you take it away, there's still going to be people that are going to grow and gift their cannabis.
And people that still use cannabis are still going to go to hospitals in times of need. It's just, we're talking about the everyday use, because these everyday things like Vicodin ruin lives. They get you physically dependent on it. There's so, like, Xanax, all these pills that aren't needed. I mean, sure, there's some extreme cases where there's people that are stressed out, I'm sure. And there's people that are in a lot of pain that need that Vicodin, right? Like, there's a reason for these drugs, but they're exacerbated on those reasons nowadays when it's like, it's how do you feel? Pain is justifiable by the person. So if I'm in pain, who are you to tell me I'm not in pain? Like, it gets very complicated. So that's why, pain should be dealt with however you feel fit, whether it be Tylenol every day, whether it be smoking a joint, whether it be smoking a joint and then going to the doctor, like whatever,
No, I got you. That makes sense, man. I feel that.
What's up, Sugar House Social Club? What's up, Alex? What's up, Killer Cam? What's going on, everybody?
Did you want to jump into our new break, DNK video? And
sure.
Cool. So we're not going to be running the Florida Kush this time. We're going to be talking about, we got the
sour animal.
We got the sour animal. So you get to see the sour animal that me and Groovy have been talking about for months on why we like it. And I get to see behind the scenes of it growing. So let's check it.
And right after, we're actually be playing another clip from our homies over at Cannabis Haunted House over in Pontiac. Shout out Pontiac, because
number one haunted house.
Yeah, in Nation or Michigan? I know from Michigan.
I'm gonna say Nation. I'll just give it to him.
Yeah, that's the home, right? Yeah, exactly, right? So again, check out that. They're open to throughout the end of October, so definitely get out there and check them out. Support local, love it. Check 100%. Them out.
Sour Animal is our most popular strain that we carry at DNK. Sour Animal is our most popular strain that we carry at DNK. It is a classic. So if you're a big fan of sour diesel, really strong, gassy smell, real high THC. We've had it tested as much as 30%. Obviously, we know that that's not everything that makes Sour Animal such a popular strain. It has, like I said, a really strong gassy note, followed up with a little bit of that citrus on the end. Great smoke. It is a sativa dominant. So when we got it, it's sour diesel crossed with animal cookies, and then again crossed back with sour diesel to really give that sour flavor. We think that's kind of something unique to the flavor profile, and in the marketplace seems to be really popular. For us, it's kind of that throwback strain, kind of one of those originals that really kind of caught fire. So we want to kind of give a little tribute to sour diesel, but kind of give it a 2.0, if you will, coming into 2022.
I've done it. A time portal. My time travel lab, disguised as a haunted house. Screams are normal here, and I need more test subjects to finalize my work. Bring in the crowds. The portals are open. Erebus, it's about time. Travel. Buy tickets at hauntedpontiac.com.
All right. Well, I get scared shitless in haunted houses, so
yeah. You want to tell him that funny story? Because like last time I told the story, he got a little mad. But I mean, there is a funny story behind it.
We don't need to talk.
No, we definitely do.
We don't.
So Canada Dave, just a fun thing, because if you're to show you how truly scary Erebus is, we both went through it last year. Let me rephrase: we both went in the first room, and Dave bailed. Dave was like, "No, I'm good," and left, and legit left.
Yep.
And then we met up with him after. Dave was like, not having it. So if it does scare people.
No. Our buddy did it. He's like, going to come out? Nah, just playing for his birthday again. And she was like,
yeah.
Yeah, too funny. But it was awesome to have that sour animal clip of DNK, because that is some fire product. You get to hear about the sour diesel, which Groovy's always talking about with the back cross.
Oh, interesting. We're saying our voices aren't matching up. Oh, see, I tested that out. It looked like it was fine before. I can check that out. We'll look into that here. I'll fix it a little bit live right now too. Hopefully I can delay it up a bit.
Nice. Thank you for ever.
Let me
pointing
know
that
if
out.
it looks good there. I'll have to kind of play by ear, kind of see how it looks.
Yeah,
We're still
thank you.
working on these cameras. It looked good when we test recorded it, but it was
Yeah.
kind of hard to say.
It's gonna be a little bit of learning for these next couple upcoming streams with the new cameras and the new setup. And once we get the product cam up here, the Cam, we're gonna call it. So we've been putting in some work, so it's pretty cool. We do have a new episode dropping tomorrow, which is pretty exciting. It's with the True North Collective. We got Justin, the owner of 5 Star Extracts, who's collabed with True North. So you get to hear the back history of how he got into the company and the blend of True North and 5 Star and the collabs and what they do with the wax. And then we got Gino. Gino came in. He's the head chef for True North with all the gummies and delicious edibles they have. And we get into some new products that will be coming out to the market, what they're about. It was overall a great conversation. We dabbed. I think we tried some
Yeah,
of
it was
their,
really good.
vape carts that came out.
I think I fixed it. Let me know, Dave. It looks
so.
hopefully looks a little bit better.
I'm pretty pumped about it. So check it out. That'll be released at 4:20 Eastern. You
Super
can check out the
stoked.
video on YouTube. The audio is on all your streaming platforms from Spotify, Apple, Amazon, iHeart, Google Podcasts, wherever you listen to your podcast. We're there, or music. So check that out.
Oh, Jimmy says looks pro 1080 perfection on my end. You're so right, Andy. Yeah. I mean, and honestly, there's
Cool,
so
guys.
many
Thank you.
points when
Thank
we
you.
talk about these regulations and Michigan Cannabis, and there's so many laws that I do and don't like. I mean, because like we could even get to the point like, sure, I do love homegrown being at 12, but it's like it should be 12 that are budding. It shouldn't be. I hate the fact that you have to like they can control 12 plants. You know what I mean? People like, I don't know.
Not everyone's going to take the time to grow.
Yeah,
Just like
well,
not everyone's going to take the time to craft their own beer, right? Or make your own wine if you can at the house.
Yeah.
It's just it takes a lot of hard work, dedication, and time to have quality. I mean, anyone can grow weed, right? It's a weed,
Right, yeah.
You know, you
Yeah,
throw some
yeah.
seeds and let nature do its thing. But to grow quality that might be up to your standards, maybe you have a low quality standards, and that's okay. Then fine, grow your cannabis. But if you have a higher standards and you want that high quality, maybe you might have a buddy who does it and they gift it to you, or you learn to grow your own, or eventually you might go to a dispo, you know, whatever works for you.
Well,
And
I
that's the
think
best thing of
quality also
cannabis.
comes with budget, and we all have to be honest with where we're at in that week and that time, you know, because some days there's weeks where I want to treat myself and buy myself the firest rosin I can, right? And then there's some weeks where I'm like, okay, what deal can I get? Because I got to make this amount of money last me this long, whatever that may be, right? And I've got the X amount of dollars for 100 wax to get me through a couple weeks, you know what I mean? Like, you do what you got to do at the time, you know, and that's you know,
100%, man.
I mean, let's be honest, man. What's interesting right now is that we're seeing the markets kind of overlap in price. Like, there's nowhere that it's actually cheaper per se. You know, I think the quality might be better when you go into the caregiver market for the price, but you can go get $80 ounces at the dispo. You know what I mean? You can get cheap ass rosin on the dispo shelves where it's might be even more money. You know what I mean? So I think one thing I'm trying to say, I guess,
I've
well,
seen
at
pretty
least
good.
law.
I've seen pretty quality rosin on both, to be honest. And then like flour, I've seen.
So I didn't say quality. I said the prices are comparable.
Right, I didn't finish, but yeah, it was like quality and price match up on both markets.
What do you mean?
Like I've seen $40 rosin on the legal market. Quality's good and price is good, and same thing on the adult use market. I mean, $40 for a gram of rosin's pretty good.
Yeah.
I mean, what? Okay.
That's where a bud tender comes in handy. Yeah, I guess that's true.
No, I mean that would. I mean, because they can help you out, but there's some that take it seriously and there's some that don't take it seriously. I mean, think about it. I mean, how many times you've gone to the dispo where some of them just aren't paying attention, aren't helpful, and then that's going to turn you off probably from going to that dispo. But then you do have the ones that are super helpful, and when they're there, I mean, they make it so easy, and you're able to buy that product or get what you need pretty easy. So, I mean, that's great, Andy. I would agree. But you got to find the right dispos that got the right bud tenders, and then I would say you're pretty good with that. So, but It's interesting. I mean, the market's going to continue to evolve as it goes year in and year out. So
That's
month
true.
in and month out, it keeps evolving. So especially with Croptober, I'm curious how the numbers reflect for October, November, and December sales, because with Croptober, you assume most people will be like smoking their product by November, you know, or
Yeah.
dabbing their product or whatnot. So,
Well, since we're talking about kind of like, I mean, we've been talking about Michigan cannabis. It's kind of relevant now. The grow mandatory. I can never say the word. I kind of want to talk about that a bit. Jump back into the Michigan cannabis stuff.
okay, yeah, jump into it.
Well, I was asking you your thoughts on it.
Oh, what'd you say? Can you
The
repeat it?
grow mandatorium or whatever.
The grow moratorium? Oh, I'm totally against it.
All right.
Yeah, I don't think you should have it
So essentially, it's just a temporary hold on licenses, right?
until they vote it back in.
Right.
So like, when are they going to vote it in? You're putting it up to people that could probably get paid on the back end. I mean, we crafted into law unlimited licenses. Let it be. Let the good products thrive, and let the other product not. I mean, I find it unfair for people that want to get a grow license a year down the line and they can't because of moratorium, or 2 years down the line because of moratorium. I mean, there'd have to be like, we revisit this every 3 months, right? And not that it's a pause on it, because like there should be like a timetable, like, okay, after a year, licenses are back up. We'll put a moratorium for 1 year, and then we'll put licenses back up. It can't be when they want to vote it in my opinion.
Yeah, I get that. No, I get that. It gets
I
a little
wouldn't wanna leave it up
confusing.
to them.
I just, like I said, I don't necessarily agree with it by any means. I just, when I heard like Hog Cannabis talking about their shit, I felt bad for them. You know, that they don't have the ability to keep up with it. And I think that comes down with, you know, how they do their business, you know, probably. You know, you probably have too many, you know, employees. You know, we've heard people doing it with 4 or 5 employees. Granted, they have to do all the work,
Right.
you know, so people might be paying people too much, and then their overhead is too much, you know, so the money might be there, but they might be doing business in a way that's not affordable to where they're at. You know, and that's why I see the grow mandatorium being a really bad idea, because then you're essentially getting people like back to a comfortable place, but then you let the licenses come back, and then we have the same issue again. You know, because then if this happens, then I think the issue is then people are going to be like, all right, we're done with licenses until someone's companies go away, right? And then we end up with how they do.
How's that fair?
Right, and I'm saying we end up how they kind of do alcohol licenses in some cities, where sometimes they have to sell them. You know what I mean? I know that's how Chicago was, like
Right,
this
so
limited.
they're gonna make it an absurd amount of money. Like, dude, and
I said that's what I said. It's
that-
crazy.
That's what's not fair. Like,
All right.
we wrote it in, like, it got crafted in legislation and it got passed, and people are upset at the law. I mean, everyone saw it. I mean, when you started the business, you knew that there were going to be probably thousands of cultivators trying to get into the market, I'm assuming.
Yeah, it's for commercial grows, Dave.
Like, why? I don't know. I just find it like, yeah, there's a lot of cannabis. Maybe find alternatives, find other ways to market. It does. I see where it affects some of the smaller grows, but I also see some small grows though doing really well right now.
Right.
So if people didn't worry about like if the MCMA product wasn't such trash, and they're the ones flooding the market with such bullshit pricings, making everyone drop. I mean, when they're growing so much, why don't you restrict these companies that can stack like 10 licenses, and they're growing 1,500, and they don't even know how to grow the bud like quality. So like, why don't we restrict that instead of restrict the small grows trying to get into the game? Because if you have 500 plant, 100 licenses with 500 plants, you know, it's all going to come up to quality. Who's got a quality of a product? What strains are you growing? You know, it comes down to other tactics and other metrics, not just plants or shit. Yeah, but I don't know. I find it just restrict the.
No, I mean, like,
bigger
how many
grows,
other
man.
industries do you even hear about this being a thing? And as I said, I think the only time I've ever heard about this is alcohol. And then I think that's really only for big cities, because I think there's just so many limitations on bars. And I think, again, this is just what someone told me. And maybe they were just getting it because it was cheaper. I think it was just harder and a longer process to get a license. So maybe it's still possible. That's what I'm saying. So there might not be any other industry where it's chokeholded like this. And I think it's so crazy to me that it is. You know what I mean?
Mm-hmm.
So I just don't understand the point of the mandatory, the stopping grow licenses for the adult use. And then isn't this the medical as well, or just the adult use market?
I think just adult use. I think Andy's right. I mean, there's going to be a lot of companies. Are they actually going to renew the license for the medical? You know, like that costs money. You got to go through all this more testing, like we're talking about. Like there's all this other stuff that happens with it. So it will be interesting to see how it continues to evolve in the coming years, and what will be happening. So
Right.
but
It's just fascinating that it's almost like they're like they're getting bullied. You know what I mean?
well, I mean, everyone thought they're going to come in and make a crap ton of money. It's the green rush, right? No, I mean, it's a lot of hard work, and you got to have. Some of these companies never had a brand before, and they're just jumping in. Like, they weren't even in medical or nothing. They just came in with money, right? So, like, and they thought they were going to double up, triple up. Like, no, it takes.
Yeah.
You got to build a brand. You got to have a quality, superior product. You know, there's not going to be only 5 companies growing cannabis, because that'd be ridiculous. So,
Yeah.
that would be not something I'd be about.
What's up, Native? How's it going? Just saw you up there at the rally. What's going on, fam? Native just said what up.
See, Andy, that's exactly what I'm thinking, dude. Like, cut some of the MCMA licenses.
Well, and what about these
Well-
stacked licenses?
Well, that's what I'm saying. Like, because they're the ones that are dropping the price per pound in the market. Like, it's not the small grows coming in and cutthroat in the market. It's these big companies that are coming in like, hey,
Well, when you
here's a
got
pound for 500.
Well, it's
like,
the stacking of license. It's like this, like
What?
whenever you have these like 2, 3, 4, 5 stack licenses, like or you have companies with multiple company names with multiple stack licenses, right? It just starts getting to a point where it starts getting to that
the green pig
monopoly.
industry
It becomes
Skynet.
monopoly. You know, it becomes more and more closer to that monopoly. You know, and that's why like I don't necessarily want to get rid of the licenses at all, because as soon as you start doing that, you start lessening this. You know, the little guy.
100%.
You're just
Because
strengthening
what
the big
will
guy.
happen if the little guy still doesn't make a profit, the big guy will be still growing so much more bud than the little guy because they bought the licenses. That's what you should be restricting, is those, not the small grows or people trying to get in the weed game. Like, let everybody in the cannabis game, just like you let everyone open up a gas station or a used car lot here in Michigan. You have those everywhere.
Right.
Or McDonald's, Burger King, liquor store. I mean, you have those pop up everywhere. They're like on every other corner.
Yeah, no shit, right?
Like, have the grow license up, and you know, competition's healthy, right? I mean, isn't that what,
I mean, I'm seeing signs for them coming into Waterford soon, so they're coming
Good.
around. They're not.
Good.
They're. It's moving. It's just that, you know, at what pace?
I'm curious who it will be. It's probably going to be like a, I don't want to say it. Probably like a Loom or something.
I took a picture. I think it was Quality Roots.
Okay.
Yeah. It was funny to me. One, I actually saw there was a sign down on Highland, and for the longest time it said dispensary coming soon, dispensary coming soon. And then one day I passed by and all the signs were ripped off, and it was like an uneven rip. You could see like they just like kind of ripped the sign off, and I was like,
They did not.
but
get
there's
approved.
still cars there every day. There's still not every day. Every time I pass it, there's still cars there.
Are you sure people are in that building? Nope.
I mean, I'm not saying I'm like, no, I didn't pull in the parking lot. I'm just saying you don't know. I'm saying, like, you know, what's up, MD Processing? It's just that you're seeing a lot of competition pop up for people, and I think it scares people. But, like, if you have a quality brand and you realize that you're, you know, like how DNK always talks about, we're not trying to maximize our profits and just stab people for how much money we can make per eighth. We're trying to sell a quality product for a quality price, because longevity will speak over then. And if you can learn to budget off that, then you can expand healthy. And not where, so a lot of these dispos are probably expanding at a place that's like too fast, and then they're falling. You
Watch
know
your
what I'm saying?
Puffco, man.
Oh yeah, it's just balancing. Days like, oh god.
I know, dude. I'm nervous for the
Yeah, it's
Puffco
funny.
right now. If you don't know, Groovy likes to spill something.
I
Sorry,
spill
man.
everything. It's a skill of mine. It's a skill.
He'll spill a water cup, and then he'll spill the water cup that's already empty. No, I'm just
Let me see. What other things are you going to talk about with the Michigan cannabis? I guess, what do you think the future will hold?
Oh, that's a good
I
question.
mean, especially
man.
because grow mandatoriums, they're in like pending. You know, I mean, where we've come from is a really sweet spot. Like I said, from 1972 to people getting convicted, you know, John Sinclair for 2 joints. 2008, we get medical. 2016, we vote adult use in or legalize it. 2018, it goes through, right? Something like that. It was the first dispose. Hold on, I just blanked it.
2018, we went adult use.
Yeah, but something happened in 2016.
16, we crafted in the first
Michigan
medical,
legislation enacted the law spanning the state's extending medical program to include licensing and regulation.
Yes.
That was when 16. It was 8 years after when dispos were legal finally.
Yeah, because I remember
that's what it was. Because I remember there was so many. It was dispos being illegal for the longest time, but like we still needed bud. Not everyone knew a caregiver.
That's what I know because when I was going through court, that came out.
You were like, what?
Yeah, they even.
And then in
said
2018, we had fully
a
legal,
license.
and to hear where we are now, where it's on every corner, you can pretty much smoke it at venues now. No one really cares. Like it's not legal, but no one really cares. Let's be real. The cannabis persona here is
it is changing. It's nice.
Slowly. It's not fully gone.
Well,
but I mean, people even like my dad, who called it dope my whole life, dope, or is even like, you hear that you can grow hemp into paper? Like, yeah, man. Like, you know what I mean? Like,
man, we've been telling you about how great hemp is, man.
You know what I'm saying?
Come on, groovy dad.
Is that your attempt to do what I do?
Yep.
With my...
Dad groovy? I don't know. It was a pretty
I'm not
good
really sure.
It's a
Sorry, I'm
pretty good
not really
attempt,
sure
though.
how to move these chairs yet. We got these big ass chairs, and it's kind of hard to see.
Yeah.
It's kind of, like I said, we're figuring this out. It's a new setup. Messing around with some new things. Like I said, I guess the audio might not be lining up, but I'll try to figure that out. It works fine on the recording when we checked the other day, but I don't know. We're still learning these new
50-50.
things, so
We'll figure it out. But
I'm definitely stoked for y'all to see this True North Collective episode. I really think you guys are gonna like it.
are you on the widescreen?
Yeah, I think the True North episode was for me it was very interesting to meet the person behind, because I used to love their GMO. You know what I mean?
Love?
So
that's an understatement.
Yeah, right. So for me to like talk to them and pick their brain and kind of see where the future of their company's going is cool. And then especially, it's always nice to hear when some of these companies come from caregiver rights, and it sounded like they came from caregiver world, maybe rights, caregiver world. Past few companies have, and it's been kind of refreshing and something that we hope to continue seeing, because at the end of the day, like, that's who deserves to be in the market, was the people who, put in that. They've been around, so love to hear what other people think about the future.
We actually, Groovy got a bed for Kilo, so he's not technically right here at this moment.
Yeah,
but
he went downstairs for some reason. I've been having a lot of people. I don't know. Is any people getting a lot of solicitors lately?
Yeah.
I don't know what the hell's going on. Literally,
midterm elections.
We've had 2 people since Canada Dave got here.
Yeah,
like,
no, it's
I've had
insane.
4 people today. Like, I'm like, would you stop? Like, I don't know.
Well, they're just like, you registered to
T-Dub
vote?
says, I've been excited. Yeah, man, it was cool. And we had Gino, their head chef,
Yep.
and we had Justin, who was their head extractor from 5 Star, which was
Well, he
sick.
was the owner of 5 Star, which came in from the medic.
Head extractor for True North. You're right. Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. I mean, it's
that's
a little,
the difference in the brand. Like, we get really good detail on what
It's
the
like an
difference
umbrella or whatever.
what the difference of the color boxes are between the product and everything.
Yeah, they actually just
So-
they're already out now, but we actually tried them right before they hit the market. We
Correct.
recorded like right before September.
Yeah.
So, but it was the
big-
carts,
yeah.
the carts, and then the
Lemon G. They had Down Mega.
the edibles that were strain specific. So remember, that was really cool to me, getting edibles that had Mac Daddy wax only.
Mm-hmm.
You know?
Yeah.
So
that's
some
right.
of they're experimenting, doing some R&D, and I love seeing R&D. You know what I mean?
And they said they're going to continue doing it too.
There's no
so-
Kilo Cuddle Spot. That's hilarious.
Yeah,
That's
that's
what
right.
you're reading. Yeah,
Yeah.
no, he's got a little bed. We don't really have a camera to pull it up on, but
We'll make that the part of the candy came up.
yeah, Kilo's dealing with some health issues. Got some eye infection and stuff. Man, it's crazy when these dogs get older. Sorry, get off tangent. But yeah, appreciate y'all tuning in and dealing with hopefully the podcast looks okay. I hope our mouse aren't too far off, and I'll try to figure that out from what I thought they were on. So like I said, this is literally the first time we've done them. We did a test record last week, and then we've been on the road, and that was a lot of fun doing the UP stuff.
Yeah, again, shout out to Uplift and Nick.
Nick.
For having us up there, getting us to the Camp Cannabis tour.
Yeah, which actually we didn't talk about that at all. We did on on Saturday, but if you didn't catch that, that was the first time I was at an event, or I've been at an event with alcohol and cannabis being sold.
You couldn't burn
but it was
cannabis.
the inverse way. So I'm sorry. So I guess I have seen it, but I haven't been there. Like I've heard of like how Andy was talking about Riot Fest. You could buy weed at one tent, but you couldn't bring it out. It was the opposite. You could buy weed at a dispo and then bring it everywhere. But then alcohol was in beer gardens. You can only drink in certain spots. But like, let's be real. People
you
probably
couldn't bring
drinking.
the cannabis in beer gardens, though.
Yeah, again,
You'd be smoking. I'd be smoking.
I mean, I just really doubt that how hard they were. I just wonder how hard they were regulating that. You know what I mean?
Yeah, I mean, I didn't even see
I didn't drink, so
yeah, I didn't even see where they had it until the second day when we just showed up for the day for a little. You know,
yeah.
Like at night, you could barely even see it. So, I just thought, real brief, Uplifting's lab, very cool, man. To see what goes on behind the scenes and to get like a lot of these consistencies from diamonds to the live resin. Don't put that there.
Yeah, I mean, I don't know where else to put it, dude.
Not there. So and talking about the half and halves, and then his new product, which is called the 5 gram bangers, right?
Yep.
So it's 5 grams in the whole jar. Look pretty sweet. So we got some content. We'll be coming out with that.
I guess we could do this one last thing before the end, just so if you want to throw them out, caregiver market, illicit market, gray giver, what? Fucking adult use, medical. I don't really care, so it does not matter. Any brands you do or don't like, definitely shut them out. Now I'm gonna start with saying, fuck the MCMA. Anyone that's gonna be corporate greedy and shut down people who need it based on their health can go fuck themselves. Like, to be honest, like if you're a corporate company and you're just doing your thing and not on the MCMA, I get it, man. Make your money. I get it. Be corporate. Like, whatever. Do things how you want. Just don't go after the little guy. You know, so those are the only companies I don't like. You know, I don't like them picking on the little guy. Definitely want to shout out Superlative. Solventless. That was some fire. That slaps we got off market. Society Sees Rosin was fire we just had. Uplifting. These diamonds have been unique. You know, just those are some of the brands that I can think of that I've been digging. But these are just the brand. Shout out to the Holy Cannoli team.
Oh yeah, that sounds fire.
Yeah, I love those.
They're actually coming out with, I think they're
the
ready
cannolis,
out.
Yeah.
They're just the mini cannolis. I don't know if they're called mini, but they're
the cannolis.
1 gram.
Holy cannolis and the cannoli.
Oh, they're called cannoli. Yeah, it's like
yeah.
1 gram and then 0.25 of
rosin. And then the other ones are 2 grams of flour with half gram of rosin.
And we actually saw where they make that rosin. So
yeah, we got tons of content behind the scenes stuff coming your way. So definitely, if you need a caregiver, I guess White Buffalo may be looking. We'll throw that in there. Always in the comments. If you're looking for a caregiver, put in the comments. Most likely, the community will stand by it. Oh, cough, cough, Canna Boys. That's hilarious. Yeah, Canna Boys always holding it down with that fire.
Yeah, that's true.
I love the homie. Yeah.
Gosh, I love her.
Again, coming from the caregiver days, it's easy to support people who you know, and I think our laws are pretty damn freaking good. You know what I mean? Like when you look at relatively like other places, there's tons of stuff we can learn, and there's definitely, like you said, there's a lot of uphill to go. But when you look up to personal use, there's no penalty for 10 ounces at your house. Like, sure, why is there even a limit? You know what I mean? But it's not horrible.
You just gotta secure store it.
Yeah, I guess what I'm saying is they're not horrible, but they're also, why are they limited in this way at all? You know, and that, to me, that's where the unjust comes from. You know, of course, when I look at 10 ounces at home, like, that's sweet. That's awesome compared to it being illegal. But, like, at the end of the day, it shouldn't matter how much I have at home if it's really legal.
Cannabis more than likely.
Yeah, I mean, do you care how many pencils I have at home? No,
Yeah,
because
35.
pencils are legal.
35.
35 pencils.
Yeah,
Okay.
that's it.
35 pencils.
Why the
36,
number 35?
going to jail. Like, you know what I mean?
35? I don't know.
But that's my point. It doesn't make sense.
Well, think about that too, though. How many people are going to store cannabis properly too? I mean, not everyone stores it properly, so
Right,
like, it's going to
right.
degrade and not be the best. And if you don't store it properly,
right.
you'll be gone. But you're absolutely right. You should be able to have more than 10 ounces. But I believe if it's secured up, like if you grow it at your house, whatever you grow, you just got to lock it up. Which is crazy because like you can have a bar in your basement. You can have
with I mean, I don't know if there's a rule on how many bottles. I mean, there probably
no,
isn't.
there's not. I know, no way.
I mean,
there's no way there's a law on how many bottles you can have in a house.
yeah, exactly. I doubt it. How could they?
They're like, add 3 on top of that. Whatever that number is, they're like, add more.
I mean, no one's gonna the regulation. There's no regulation on it though, too.
No.
Like, so it's like when we saw 600 gallons or whatever per year of alcohol you could make, but like who's really coming and checking how much alcohol? Unless you're selling it, then I'm sure that Uncle Sam's like, hey, you're not paying your taxes. That's a whole different story if you're not paying your taxes.
Well, then that goes to kind of what like they were saying about the caregivers doing that, and then the big money not getting their money because you're not paying at the retail shop, right? And I think it all goes to just gifting cannabis, and we have that written to the law 2020 or 2018 where you're allowed to gift cannabis for free. I mean, don't be taking advantage of it, but you can still gift cannabis for free. And I think that's where it's always going to be because everyone's going to grow their own. You're going to have tons of people that are going to grow their own, but everyone's still going to go to the dispo no matter what, right? You're going to have, and I saw this at Camp Cannabis. You're going to have like a grandma, a mom, and daughter and son, right? They were all buying pre-rolls. I was watching this as you were just...
Oh, yeah, right to the right of
right.
us.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And I heard the grandma go, I want these 4. And I was like, whoa. And she named the 4 she wanted. Yeah, exactly. And by kids, obviously they're 21. Everyone had to be 21. But
they're young. You could tell that's what they were in the family.
Like that's going to be around. That's not going to matter. But I think by having anyone 21 and up be able to grow cannabis and not have a plant limit, you're going to be able to give cannabis to you, give cannabis to a friend, and just grow it. Because like think about like growing up, my whole family grew vegetables, right?
Right.
And everyone would come by and deliver vegetables to my
I hear you.
grandma. Like drop off whatever
Well,
they
yeah,
had extra.
isn't that where you learned to grow a little bit? Was from grandma?
Yeah, but grandma would grow a lot, and then she would exchange, and like everyone would be sharing their vegetables. It's not like you're gonna be like, no, you can't exchange vegetables, right? So
Right.
Going on tangent here. What?
No, but I hear you because the whole shit. Whoa. That was weird. Just overlaid with the whole wrong video. That was really weird. Anyways, what was I gonna say? Oh, because at the end of the day, it is just a plant, and that's kind of the funny thing is, we compare it to this illicit drug, but it can be grown in your backyard. It's not like it's causing any problems.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, if anything, it smells a little bit, but like, it's an over-regulated product, and it has to all do with really just the tons of war on drugs and racist ties to it all.
Yep.
Like it's enough's enough, So again, and this comes down. I mean, we won't talk about it too much longer because we're supposed to get out of here. But the whole Biden thing, man, we talked about it a bit on. Was that Saturday?
Mm-hmm. Yep.
We talked about it on Saturday. I think that was what we mainly talked about.
Yeah, it was that and Camp Cannabis for the first time.
Yeah. But just I mean, calling on getting rid of some convictions.
This guy do more
to get rid of to pardon people that were in jail, which they I heard a lot of really good points saying that like a lot of minor possession tickets aren't even at that level, so he didn't really do
it's
much.
Just felony charges.
Yeah.
There's only like 3,000 felony charges.
Right. And then the second and the third one are more where I was focusing on because the second one is where he calls on the state people to follow suit. Which if that happens, then we'd see a lot of people getting pardons or these past convictions, because if you do it at the state level, that's a lot of times where possession charges are done. We all know with the misdemeanors and shit, that's where it's done at. No way they're gonna call the feds in for someone smoking some joints. You know what I mean? Mm-hmm. So, it looks like IG's done. We only get the 1 hour. I forget.
Cool. Canna Grandma TW, yeah, she was the best.
Yeah. Oh crap! I was gonna make a point there and I lost it. Darn. Oh well.
You're talking about Biden doing it was changing.
Oh yeah, and then the third one,
and
this is the big one to me is that he's calling to reclassify cannabis. I mean, I know they mentioned being okay with number 2 or going down to Schedule 2. I really hope we have enough force behind us now to get it all the way off descheduling because that's where it needs to be.
Mm-hmm.
So.
Yeah, no, I would agree. As long as they don't reschedule and it has to go through another process, that'd be horrible.
Well, because then every state law needs to be adjusted. Everything needs to be adjusted,
Yep, and that would just be a hassle. Mm-hmm. I do want to get into Andy's comment before we get out of here because it's about the future and we were talking about it. He says pre-rolls are the future. I'm seeing more of those and less bulk sales. I kind of think I could see that in some type of and like vapes. And the reason why pre-rolls is because it's so easy to buy and go on the go and consume.
Yeah, I
I
hear
mean,
that.
even me and you will get it sometimes. We're just like, all right, well, let's just see, try it out, go,
Right.
boom. And it is the ease and convenience of just being able to have the pre-roll, light it, go, or you just say you're going to a concert, say you run somewhere, and just picking it up. You don't have to break it up, and boom. The one thing I would like to see if it does go that way, they need to start putting on it like full nug trim in there, like, and not live, like, because it's sad, like when you're buying these pre-rolls and you can taste the trim, or you open it up, you literally buy it, you cut it up, and you see like no bud. It's like, if you're gonna do that, make sure you're actually grinding up buds and sell it, right? So, but it's like that future roller stuff taking over, and I'm not a fan of their pre-rolls,
Right.
the papers.
Machine bullshit.
Yeah, but
All right.
you do need it. But other than that, we appreciate everyone tuning in and hanging with us on this Tuesday evening. Like I said, we'll be having a new episode that drops tomorrow at 7:10, at 4:20 Eastern. It's with True North Collective. Gino and Justin join us. We'll be live Saturday at 9 o'clock Eastern time. And other than that, have a great week. And as always, Groovy, here to advocate
Oh, yeah. Educate.
and inspire. So next time, y'all.
Peace.
Peace.
Ha